I was so excited about this that I didn't even clean my desk off before I decided to start showing it. So I have two of these. Now they're not exactly the same, but they're pretty close. Okay, they're pretty close. Some of the ephemera obviously is going to be different, and all the pages I had, double duplicates of all the pages for each book, and they both have this cover. So what I did was this is a supply flow. It's full of supplies. I made the spine out of fabric that I had sewn, and then I bound it loosely with a pack of my fibers. So you have 2 yards of just about all of these fibers, and I will show you how that works. Both of them I coated the inside. I did this one in this paper, and the other one is in a paper that looks like ticking. And I have books from all kinds of catalogs. I tried to keep them as loose as I could. And I kept like pages together. So when you unravel this gigantic beast, you'll be able to put your pages together. So I have like home repair books, lots of old music in both of these books. Lots of old music. I made some pocket pages. This one I did not sew. I figured you could do what you wanted with this, and I tucked some ephemera in. So this is the one that isn't sewn, and I have like, journaling cards, one that's a little less decorated, and this one that I have fully decorated to do whatever you want with. I included a ton of greeting cards. I'm cleaning out my greeting card stash. This is all stuff from my stash that I'm cleaning out. So some of them are filled out. All of them have amazing artwork and pictures on them. Make sure you can see. Yep. So each one has one of each of these cards here. And they all have greeting cards that are similar. I cleaned out my whole stash. And then they each have this grade teachers, from a teacher's grading book. And that is in both of them. So see, this is the remaining. I just folded it into the book, the remaining fibers from the stitching. And these books are going to be available. I'll be having a live sale this Friday, the 23rd, June 23rd. And I'm going to offer both of these at a special price on Friday only. And then if they don't sell, they will be going into my Etsy store after that. Here's the other side of that pocket. I have some old postcards. I did put a lot of old ephemera, checks. This is ephemera that I had cut out of a book. More music, more architecture and catalogs. This is from like a repro of a Sears and Roebuck catalog. This is a catalog that's like just really good collage pages. This is from a home decorating book. This is my second signature. One book has 6 signatures. I'm sorry, one book has 5 signatures and one has 4. I don't know why. They have the same amount of pages, so I don't know what happened there. I guess I just lost my mind. So more, this is an Ethan Allen book. Seed catalog pages, and then there's, you get to a magazine, local magazine that has like really heavy pages to do whatever you want with. This came from an art catalog. I have these fussy cut images available in my Etsy store. This is from a clip art book. This is a flower book that I coffee dyed the pages. This is a coloring book. I have a few pages of that book in here. This is a children's book. An old envelope. An old magazine, some old magazine pages, this envelope. So yeah, there's a lot of really awesome stuff in here. This is good to just stock your stash up or to build your stash with a variety. And I mean, this is a big variety, so you can get this book and you can do, like art books. You can do a lot of experimenting with styles that you haven't tried before. I included, there's a lot of yearbook pages too in these books. The candid sections and just the signature sections with a lot of gorgeous handwriting, some portrait pages. This came from an old stamp collecting book, and it's really thick paper. It's really nice and antique-y. But yeah, this gives you the chance to really experiment with different style paper and different style mixed media projects that you want to get into. So I included some regular dictionary pages. These are pages from a Greek book I have, some kind of religious history book. More seed catalog. I love the pages. I love the flowers on the edges of those. Here's a pocket that I sewed. So I include some that I didn't, some that I did. You have tickets, you have time cards, more slightly collaged index kind of cards, more heavily collaged cards. These are cards that I made by just layering up book pages to get rid of book pages into collage, and then I just decorated it like that on lined paper. So you get something like that. This is cardstock scrapbook paper. I included a whole bunch of these pages. These are pages from a comic book, to make your own comic book. So I included a bunch of these with a bunch of different style layouts, so you can do whatever you want with that. Some gorgeous calendar page images from recent years. More yearbook ad pages. This is a bingo card for like some kind of nature bingo. These are pages from a rose book. So you have a bunch of different rose images that you could fussy cut or turn into tags and cards. This came from like a, one of those fancy like quote books. And then again, I just threw the rest of the thread up there so it didn't get tangled up. So these are bound loosely so that you can easily take them apart and do whatever. They're not meant to be like rough handled and journaled in. This is supplies for you, put into a book form, so that you could more easily keep it on the shelf. Here's those pages again. There's like 4 or 5 of those sheets. I haven't even counted the pages. So here's some of the really old stuff. A letter from 94, and we know it was not 1994. So yeah. And again, both books have similar stuff. Old handwritten letters, old checks. They're very similar, but I can't do exactly the same, obviously. They all have these adorable little cards. That is a postcard book that I got with these terrific little images. More card catalog, the Greek stuff, dictionary, music. Like this music stuff is old stamp, collecting pages. Yearbook. This came from like a San Francisco book, and the pages are just great and thick. So we're on to, this is a big bag of crap that I will show you after. My last signature in this book is my wallpaper and wrapping paper signature. I have paper clipped the ones that are full of stuff. So each one that's folded is full of cards and pages. I have little envelopes that I filled with die cuts, whale tail tabs, circles, embossed die cuts. This is a little envelope that I made out of deli paper, and I filled it with old stamps. So they both have those little envelopes in here. So then the next one, this is a vintage wallpaper, and this one has old index cards. They're blue, but they're older, so they're thick. More die cuts, tags, and jar die cuts, and all kinds of little flags, and these ones that were from Tim Holtz that are like headers. So you get a whole bunch of that. These are my fussy cuts. I included some fussy cuts from my greeting cards, and I also included a bunch of, that's another greeting card, a bunch of birds that I have fussy cut. So those are some fussy cuts. These are counting money cards. They're glossy, but I have distressed them down with sandpaper, and then I went over them with an ink, and they distress very nicely. So that's that pouch. And all of my paper clips are decorated in some way, whether it's flags or whether it's little tabs. So this is also, this wallpaper here is vintage. This one here is vintage. More cards, older flashcards. I included another little envelope full of die-cut flowers, so a ton of flowers for embellishing. This is a coin envelope that I included a bunch of small die cuts in, little hearts and butterflies and all kinds of little small shapes. So tried to keep those kind of sorted out for you. And again, the other book is like the same, just the stuff might not be in the same places. This is a really old wallpaper. I don't know how old, but I got the roll at an estate sale, and it's freaking old. This one here, it's somewhat old. This one isn't that old, but again, this one is folded, so it's, you know, twice the size. Some extra cards that I have sewn. A big envelope that I made, and I included like some scallop punches, including embossed. Some of these butterfly, you know, they're a heavy-duty cardstock, so I included a bunch of butterflies. I included some different things that I've stamped on, cards, and all kinds of, this is a little tiny notepad. So I just kind of stuffed a whole bunch of stuff in here that was a little larger for, I'll just put the cards in here. That was a little too big for, you know, one of the small little envelopes that I have included. So I made a bunch of these music page envelopes, so that's what I put a lot of stuff in from this journey. I put a lot of them in that. More of my journal cards that I made and collaged. Some are sewn, some are not. So some are embellished, some are not. These came from some kind of a paper kit. And this is a book page from a really cool children's book that I pull from for a bunch of different things. And then the flags, like the flag things kind of, I can never get them right. Again, I put the paper here, the fiber here. I have more time cards and tickets. I kind of just stuffed little extras back here that didn't fit in the pockets. And then this one has more extras, I think. Nope, these are apple stationery pages. So you get some apples. Some of these have envelopes too. I might hunt down the envelopes and stick them in there if I can get to my box of envelopes. And then this here, I put all the game score sheets together. So there's a bunch of game cards, game pages. And then this is a little rag flag, and for some reason there's like a gem stuck to it, so with this one you get a free gem. So there's that. This is the last, oh no, these are the last couple pockets. Let's see. A bunch of vellum pages, 3 or 4 vellum pages. These come from a wedding invitation kit. So there's that. I'm going to be making more of these books too, so if you miss out, don't worry. There's going to be more, just I have different covers. These are just I made these two exactly the same because I have exactly the same covers. Some memo pages, and they're like, you know, the carbon copy paper. I just dye them both and use, you know, one white and one yellow page just dyed. So that's how I do that. And then I will show you my big bag of goodies here that I just tucked in here, mainly because there's not room. These are book ephemera that I have cut out of books. I made a video of that recently, just showing the process of doing that and using books in different ways. Some of them are backed with tea-dyed or end pages of books, so they're backed with something. The larger ones are not. This one I didn't back. I included some pages from an organ book that I have, and there's like schematics and diagrams, which I love. These are a couple pages from another children's book with some cool, I just love the images. This is a whole bunch of old stuff. So little cards. This is like some, you know, those tourist things. This is another touristy thing. This is a calendar from 1951. This is like a really thick card from Bloom's Auto Parts. Some kind of, this is a train card or a commuter ticket, including drivers from Virginia. Some old business cards. These are old postcards. Somebody must have put them on paper and then taped them to a wall. There's like map pieces and ferry schedules from Vermont. This is this is a very old letter with this Asian picture on it, which is beautiful, from 1920. This is one of those photo cards. They're like a portfolio card for photographers. And then this is like a Colonial Williamsburg visitor's companion with maps and stuff. And this is old. It's not like it's a newer visitor's companion. I don't know the age, but it's definitely not new. This is a double-decker bus tour with schedules and fees. This is an elementary school class photo from 1992 to 1993. I like this part of it, so, you know, do what you will. And again, not all of them have the same thing. I don't have an elementary school, but you do have the same quantity in what I found fair for quantity, so there's that. This is like a Principal Languages of the World. It came in a book, and I just took it out. I have some tea bags that I have dried. I included some folios from an old composition book. So these were like old composition book. End pages from books. This is an end page from a book. Some certificate of promotion. Someone got promoted. Report cards. Shorthand notes. Checks. I have pockets that I made, and I filled them with old checks and recipe cards and little advertising pieces. More checks, coin envelope type thing, old postcards, more of the bike book ephemera that I cut out, postcard there, and my last one of those pockets. They each have the same amount of pockets with the same amount of stuff crammed in them. Some little form type things, an old card, and another old postcard. This is just a book page image. And then these are pockets that you glue into a book that I have made out of book pages and inked. So if you glue this around, then you'll have a pocket here and a pocket here. And you could sew too. You could sew that closed. So I included a couple of those. This is just a basic double, one here, single ones that I kept the page, you know, folded. So you get a bunch of those too. So that's what that envelope is full of. And like I said, these are going to be available at my live sale on Friday. I'm going to offer them for a special price on Friday. And then if they don't sell, they'll be going up into my Etsy store probably next week sometime. I have not just figured out a closure yet, but I will figure something out of this large monstrosity. So yeah, that's what I have. I included a whole bunch of stuff, a whole bunch of great stuff to get started with if you're looking to start collecting vintage pages and ephemera to use in junk journals or mixed media art, and a bunch of fibers for your tags and your embellishing, a bunch of good ephemera, good embellishing stuff, just a whole bunch of really good stuff. So this is like really great to stock your stash with a bunch of just different stuff without having a full book of pages or a full package of envelopes or a full package of greeting cards. You get a big variety and like little tastes of a whole bunch of different things. So yeah, that's all there is to that. And I will see you on Friday. Ta-ta for now.